The camera opens to a shadowy New York City street at night. Fog creeps between tall buildings. The sound of distant footsteps echoes as the voice of the narrator drops to a chilling whisper. In the dark corners of New York's criminal underworld, a family rose to power. A family of killers, liars, and ruthless leaders. They were feared, they were dangerous, and their betrayal echoed through the mafia world. This is the story of the Bonanno crime family. The screen flashes the title, The Bonanno Family: A Legacy of Blood and Betrayal. The Bonanno family was one of the 5 families that dominated organized crime in New York City, but their rise to power wasn't through loyalty and trust. It was built on deception, murder, and greed. From the 1930s to the 1970s, the Bonanno family would leave a trail of blood across the streets of the city, and their legacy is still remembered today for all the wrong reasons. Everything began in the 1930s with Joseph Bonanno, a Sicilian immigrant who moved to the United States in search of a better life. Little did anyone know, he would become one of the most powerful mafia bosses in the country. Bonanno's ambition was unmatched, and by the early 1950s he took control of the Bonanno family, one of the most influential of the 5 families. In 1964, Joseph Bonanno faced a critical moment. Under intense pressure from law enforcement and rival mafia bosses, Bonanno attempted to consolidate his power by betraying his own family. He tried to orchestrate the assassination of his enemies, but the plan backfired. In what would become known as the Bonanno War, his betrayal sparked a brutal conflict between rival mafia families that would last for years. But Joseph Bonanno's biggest mistake wasn't in the wars he started, it was in his efforts to keep control. In the mid-1960s, Bonanno mysteriously disappeared from public view. Some believed he was hiding out, planning a comeback, while others speculated he was dead. In reality, Bonanno had been ousted by his own men in a bloody coup. His own underboss, Gaspar Di Gregorio, betrayed him, and Bonanno was forced into exile in Arizona. He was no longer in charge, but his legacy of violence and manipulation would continue to ripple through the family. The 1970s saw the Bonanno family in a state of chaos. The family was at war with itself, torn apart by rival factions. But even in exile, Joseph Bonanno's influence continued to hold sway. In 1976, he made a bold move. He returned to New York. He tried to take back control of the family, but the Bonanno family was no longer his to command. A violent internal power struggle ensued and bloodshed was inevitable. But the story doesn't end there. The 1980s and 1990s were filled with even more betrayal and violence as the Bonanno family struggled to hold on to its power. The rise of new blood, like Salvatore "Sal the Beast" Catalano, pushed the family into even darker territories. Catalano was involved in violent rackets, drug trafficking and murder, but his reign didn't last long. The turning point came in 2004, when the Bonanno family's top leadership was arrested in a massive sting operation. The FBI had infiltrated the family, gathering enough evidence to bring the mobsters to justice. The arrests dealt a blow to the family's operations, but it didn't kill it. The Bonanno crime family still exists today, though its power and influence have greatly diminished. Even now, the Bonanno family's name is synonymous with crime, betrayal, and corruption. While it no longer holds the same power it once did, its history is a chilling reminder of the dark forces that lurk in the shadows of organized crime. If you're fascinated by true crime stories filled with betrayal, bloodshed, and mafia power, don't forget to like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to our channel for more chilling tales that will leave you questioning everything. The Bonanno family may have fallen from its once powerful position, but its name will forever remain etched in the history of organized crime, forever linked to a story of betrayal, violence, and the pursuit of power at any cost.